In the summer of 1977, something strange appeared in the data of a quiet radio telescope in Ohio. It lasted only 72 seconds, but it was so unusual that an astronomer wrote a single word beside it: wow. That spontaneous reaction would later give the signal its famous name. The mysterious signal seemed to come from deep space, somewhere in the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. It was strong, precise, and very different from the usual background noise scientists detect from the universe. The strangest part is this: it never appeared again. More than 40 years later, scientists are still trying to understand what produced the famous wow signal. That brief moment in 1977 became one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in astronomy. The story began on August 15, 1977, at the Big Ear Radio Telescope, operated by Ohio State University. Unlike optical telescopes that capture visible light, this instrument was designed to listen for radio waves coming from space. At the time, scientists were running a project connected to SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Their goal was simple, but ambitious: scan the sky and listen for signals that might come from intelligent civilizations beyond Earth. One of the astronomers reviewing the telescope's data was Jerry R. Amon. As he looked through long lines of computer printouts, he suddenly noticed something unusual: a strange sequence of characters, 6EQUJ5. To most people, that sequence looks completely random. But to radio astronomers, those characters represented a very strong radio signal detected by the telescope. The signal stood out dramatically from the surrounding background noise. Surprised by what he saw, Amon circled the numbers on the printout and wrote a single word next to them: wow. Scientists quickly realized that the signal had several unusual characteristics. One of the most important details was its frequency, about 1420 megahertz. This frequency is extremely close to the natural radio emission of hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. Because hydrogen exists everywhere in space, many scientists believe it could serve as a universal communication channel. If an advanced civilization wanted to send a signal across the galaxy, choosing this frequency might make sense. Any civilization studying astronomy would likely know about it. Another fascinating detail was how the signal behaved over time. As Earth rotates, a radio telescope slowly scans across the sky. If a distant source passes through the telescope's field of view, the signal strength gradually rises, peaks, and then fades. This is exactly the pattern observed with the wow signal. The signal slowly increased in intensity, reached a peak, and then gradually disappeared. This suggested that the source was far away and fixed in space, rather than something moving quickly nearby. Another unusual feature was that the signal was extremely narrowband. This means it occupied a very small slice of the radio frequency spectrum. Most natural cosmic sources produce signals spread across many frequencies. Artificial transmitters, however, often produce narrowband signals. This detail briefly led some scientists to wonder whether the signal could have been artificial in origin. In other words, it might have been created by technology. But there was one major problem. The signal never appeared again. After the discovery, astronomers pointed telescopes toward the same region of the sky many times. They hoped the signal might repeat. Yet despite years of searching, nothing like it was ever detected again. Without a second signal, confirming its origin became extremely difficult. Over time, scientists proposed several different explanations. Some researchers suggested the signal could have been caused by a passing comet, releasing clouds of hydrogen gas. Others believed it might have been a rare natural cosmic phenomenon that scientists still do not fully understand. The universe produces many unusual signals that are still being studied today. There was also the possibility of interference from Earth-based technology. However, the specific frequency used made that explanation less likely. Even after decades of analysis, none of these explanations perfectly match all the characteristics of the signal. That is why the wow signal continues to fascinate scientists. The signal appeared to originate from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. This region lies close to the dense center of our galaxy. That area contains enormous numbers of stars, packed closely together. Many of those stars may have planetary systems. Modern astronomy has revealed that planets are extremely common in the universe. In fact, scientists now estimate that the Milky Way galaxy may contain hundreds of billions of planets. Some of those planets likely orbit inhabitable zones where temperatures could allow liquid water to exist. Conditions like that are considered important for life as we know it. Because of this, many scientists believe intelligent life somewhere in our galaxy is statistically possible. If such civilizations exist, radio communication could be one way. They attempt to reach across space. Today, the search for mysterious signals continues with far more advanced technology. Modern projects like Breakthrough Listen scan the sky using powerful radio telescopes. Scientists now analyze enormous datasets using artificial intelligence. These systems help search for unusual patterns in cosmic radio signals. So far, researchers have detected many interesting signals from space. However, none have matched the exact characteristics of the WOW signal. This makes that brief moment in 1977 even more fascinating. For just 72 seconds, something in the universe spoke loudly enough for us to notice. Then it disappeared, without leaving a clear explanation. Decades later, the mystery remains. Sometimes scientific discoveries give us answers. Other times, they leave us with deeper questions that push science forward. The WOW signal is one of those mysteries. It reminds us that the universe is still full of unknown phenomena, waiting to be understood. So here is the question that still divides scientists today. Was the WOW signal simply a rare natural cosmic event that we do not yet understand? Or could it have been the first brief whisper from an intelligent civilization somewhere in the Milky Way galaxy? What do you think the WOW signal really was?